What's up, everybody? And welcome back to the You Know Ball podcast, episode 2. This time, episode 3 overall, if you really want to count it. To be honest with you, I'm feeling pretty good about this week of about the week of basketball and football. We had a lot of pretty good games. I can't lie. We have a couple of games. There was one game. I would say this is one game that was the Rams and Panthers game. I'll talk about that later, but it was really interesting. I really liked that game. Really enjoyed it. But let's get into it with Thursday Night Football. We had the Cowboys and the Lions. Cowboys offense really just, it got going, right? It would move the ball, and then they stall out. Dak was almost always under pressure. I felt like there was multiple times where he was always under pressure or he was getting sacked, and it's just like there was times where our offensive line just looked like they didn't care. Our defense, our run defense per se, the run defense has been much improved ever since we got Quinn Williams, ever since we got Logan Wilson, right? So I'm thinking, okay, this is a good test, to see how far our run defense has come in terms of like being able to stop the run, doing all that. And we pretty much got ran all over. My goodness. David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, they just ran all over us. It's like, oh, we're just gonna run the ball. Y'all can't stop us for pretty much majority of the game. Jahmyr, he had a couple of rushing touchdowns. David Montgomery had a rushing, like a 30-something yard rushing touchdown. We just couldn't stop them on the run, and it's like we get them into these passing situations, and then we'd get lucky when they wouldn't make the play. There's a play where Amara St. Brown and Jameson Williams were in the same area. It looked like a miscue. But for the Cowboys, we had two. The Cowboys, I say we. Obviously the Cowboys fan, but the Cowboys, they had too many drives ending field goals. And obviously when you're going up against the Lions and in offense like the Lions have, the high scoring offense like the Lions have, field goals aren't going to cut it unless you're constantly getting stops on the Lions, in which we weren't constantly getting stops. Yeah, a few times we got stops and we scored, but our stops were few and far between. And so, yeah, there were just too many drives that ended in field goals instead of touchdowns. And if we scored these touchdowns, then yes, it looks like a lot closer of a game, which in reality, it really wasn't. This was not a good game for the Cowboys defense. The Cowboys offense, for the most part, it was good. Like I said, we got down. We'd get down in their field, and we'd score. But it was obviously 3 points. Obviously, there was also way too many flags. We had a couple of holding calls. We had an offensive pass interference on George Pickens, on a Ryan Flournoy third down conversion where he got wide open. He ran it down all into like the 10-yard line, and George Pickens didn't even try. Then we had another OPI on George Pickens where he had illegal hands to the face, and I'm like, dude, you George Pickens. There's no need for that. And then we had a terrible OPI call on Jake Ferguson where he was trying to get inside. He did a little slam move, and they called OPI for some reason, which is complete, which isn't the correct call in that situation. You can go look at it yourself. Now, for those who are stat watchers, right, who don't watch the game but you look at the stats, you might look at this and say, oh, Dak Prescott had 2 interceptions, right? Well, here, let's think about the 2 interceptions, right? One of them was a great play by the defender. Well, actually, both plays were great plays by the defender. One of them was a catch, and he got stripped away. The other one was just a punch out, pretty much. The first interception came and on the first play from scrimmage, on a slam out to George Pickens, right? George Pickens, slam out. 100% completion rate. Maybe not 100, but it's a pretty good completion percentage rate. And he goes in, he catches it. Well, he doesn't even catch it. The ball gets punched out, and it gets picked. The second one is a pass to Ryan Flournoy. He catches the ball and just gets ripped out, and that's for game. But yeah, no matter what though, no matter what we did, normally if we even scored on that drive, it wouldn't have done nothing because our defense couldn't done nothing. The Lions played great. You know, they going to 8-5. Their playoff chances are still alive. The Cowboys, they're 6-1. Unless the Cowboys went out, which it is very likely that they could do that. I do think we might lose to the Chargers. But we'd have to win out, and the Eagles would have to lose out for that to win. And with how the Eagles are playing, I do think it's very possible that it does happen. But yeah. So moving on to Tuesday. That was Thursday. This was Wednesday. There was a Wednesday game that I wanted to talk about. I didn't put it down in my notes though, so I'm pretty upset about that. But it was Tennessee. I want to say it was Tennessee and who did Tennessee play? I'm looking on ESPN because the Tennessee Volunteers, they played a team. I forgot who it was. It was Stanford, right? 65-62, right? The Tennessee defense. This one chick, right? I forgot her name. Hold on. Let me look before I do her dirty. But saying just this one chick. I forgot who she was. Oh, it's Cooper. Number 55. Cooper, right? Number 55. Cooper. Defensive menace. I think she had a double with steals. 10 steals. And you know how I said a couple of, like last episode, or 2 episodes ago, or however many episodes ago, that Hannah Hidalgo was a defensive menace? Yeah. This Cooper lady? This Cooper girl? Yeah, a double with steals though. Like how often do you see that? And like that's really all I wanted to talk about. But this game was that the fact that she got 10 steals. I mean, it wasn't just now, mind you, it wasn't just her doing it too. Overall, the Volunteers, it had 16 steals and 5 blocks. So they were, you know what I mean? They were doing their thing on the defensive end as well. So they were doing their thing on the defensive end, not just her. But she accounted for 10 of those 16 steals. And I think that's just insane. And that's just defensive prowess that you hardly ever see. Because you think there's a lot of great defensive people in basketball. You know what I mean? But you think of good on-ball defenders or good off-ball defenders, but you don't think of like people that are good in the passing lanes and stuff like that. You know, there are people that are good on-ball, off-ball defenders that will get in the passing lanes, but you don't think of people. You think of defensive menaces. You don't think of people that are just I'm going to steal the ball from you. You think of people like Tony Allen or Kawhi Leonard. This girl Cooper, man, she different. So I just wanted to talk about that real quick because I thought that was like a really crazy stat that she had a double with steals. So yeah, we're going on to the Warriors and Thunder. Honestly, for the majority of this game, the Thunder were in control. Like, I mean, the Warriors had a 6-5 lead in the first quarter, and after that point, they didn't hold the lead till like in the first like early in the fourth quarter. The Thunder, you know what I mean, they held out like a double-digit lead for the majority of the game. I mean, the Warriors, they somehow stayed in it. I mean, they were battling back, you know, trying to climb their way back into it. And it's like that third quarter was when the momentum really shifted because you started seeing the lead cut down. You started seeing, I almost said Billy Donovan. Whoever the Thunder's head coach is, you saw him panicking. You saw him starting to call timeouts. The Chase Center was, you know what I mean, it was loud. You know, they were like, Warriors. Now, if this was Oracle Arena, that would be a completely different story. If this was Oracle Arena, yeah, the Thunder would have been cooked if this was Oracle Arena, but it's Chase Center. It's the Me Center. So, yeah. I said that's the Me Center. That's so stupid. But yeah, this is a great game. This is a really good game. Went down to the wire. I mean, Shea was a menace. I mean, that whole Thunder's team. Like you stop one person, and the next person steps up. You stop You start Shea, then Chad Holmgren or Jalen or J Dub or Alex Caruso or Isaiah Joe. You know what I mean? Then they're stepping up. Then they're making plays. It's like no matter who you stop, there's always someone else there to step up to the plate and basically fill in for them. It's like there's nothing you can do about it. But Seth Curry had a great game. Pods. I mean, they fought pretty well for not having Steph Curry, and they also lost Jimmy Butler throughout the game too. And I do think that if Jimmy Butler was in the game, this would have been a couple. I still think the Thunder would have won, but I think this would have been a lot closer of a game if Jimmy Butler was in the game. But still, it was a great game. It was a great game. So, yeah. Moving on, we've got the earlier Tuesday game, and it was the Celtics and Knicks. Key thing. This past game was the 500th time that the Celtics and Knicks have played, and I'm like, yo, 500. It doesn't sound right because like they're in the same division, and you think, oh, they would have faced off a lot more than just 5 times, but no, they've only faced off 5 times. I said 5 times. 500 times. My goodness. But like many other Celtics and Knicks battles, this one, I'll say this. For the first half, it wasn't really close. I really thought this was going to be a blowout. I mean, the Knicks, they got to an early double-digit lead with threes, with a bunch of threes. They ran out threes. I mean, they had their lowest scoring first quarter of the season with only 21 points. I'm like, oh my goodness. And then, like the Warriors did, it was the same situation with the Celtics. Except for the Celtics, they actually won this game. They actually came back and won. But the Celtics, they really battled back. They came back. Jaylen Brown I've been really impressed with how Jaylen Brown has played. Obviously, he's been their best player. Obviously, he's had to step up in the absence of Jason Tatum, and I feel like he's done a very great job. He's done a very good job with leading this team. Being that guy that when nothing else is falling for them, like, hey, Jaylen, go get a bucket, and that's pretty much what he's been doing. Obviously, Derek White has been obviously a big part of this, and Payton Pritchard. Obviously, all the other people have been pretty big parts of this, but obviously, it's far and away been Jaylen Brown as the MVP of this team, because obviously, without Jaylen Brown, they wouldn't even be in these games. But in the third quarter, the Celtics, they really took off. They took the lead to double digits, and even at the end of the quarter, it was an 18-point lead. Then the Knicks, they were like they fought their way back, but obviously in the end, the Celtics. I did say the Celtics won, but so overall, this was a really good game though. It was a sort of back and forth game, but not really. It was all Knicks in the first half, and then all Celtics in the second half, and majority of the second half, and in the fourth quarter, it's oh snap, the Knicks might come back and win. Yeah. But overall, though, I had a really fun time watching this game. This was a really good game. Now, moving on to the Monday games. We have the Suns and the Lakers. Dylan Brooks. That shocked me. I'm sorry. I was unfamiliar with your game. Dylan Brooks. I don't know how many points he had, but I'm just like, his offensive game has really grown over the years. And I know, with Memphis, he was like, oh, I'm just a 3-and-D guy, I'm gonna shoot threes, and I'm gonna lock you up on defense, obviously. He hasn't been, he obviously hasn't had the real chance to show off his offensive game, and I think that with the Suns, he has been. With the Suns lacking that really secondary star, in the absence of Jalen Green, I do think that Dylan Brooks has really stepped up in that role, and he's not only stepped up, but he stepped out You know, he stood out in that role. I mean, he's been the last couple of games that I've seen of Dylan Brooks on national TV, that I've been able to catch on national TV. He's looked like a baller. I mean, this man is looking great. I've seen him make plays that I never thought I'd see him make. He had like this fadeaway or moving to his left kind of shot. I don't even know what to call it, but I was like, okay, I was unfamiliar with your game. The 50 possessions, I mean, the Suns always seem to get them. I mean, shoot, man, this was just a blowout. Like, I mean, the Lakers didn't stand a chance. Like, they just looked out of it from the beginning. You know, Luka was always gonna do his, but it was just a blowout for the Lakers. I mean, they didn't stand a chance. I think LeBron scored 10 late in the game, trying to keep his record going. Also, he did lose his record. I mean, it's not even that serious of a record. Like, oh, he's went this many games with 10 plus points. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't see why it's such a big deal. Yeah, that was the Suns and I think that was the Monday. Was that the Monday game? Or was it Celtics and Knicks? No, Celtics and Knicks was Tuesday game. Suns and Lakers was the Monday game. Oh yeah, the Magic and the Bulls was the Monday game too. I'm gonna get into that after the Patriots and Giants. Patriots, I mean, Giants. I really gotta speak on this real quick. Young Waku, man, Koo. He kicked the ground. This man kicked the ground. And it's like, oh, the ball was wobbling. Brother, are we being serious right now? I don't care if the ball is wobbling or the ball is spinning around in a circle. Your job as the kicker, well, obviously, the ball is spinning on the ground, and obviously, it's a completely different situation. But your job as the kicker is to kick the ball. You halted and kicked the ground. Whoever the Giants special teams coordinator is, or special teams personnel dude is, or girl, get him out of here. Get him fired. I want him fired. Because what do you... And then, I forgot the dude's name, but number 80 on the Giants. I mean, he got rocked. Fumbled. Had the N on the NY scratched off. Dude. The Giants are just another level of bad, man. Like, I mean, obviously the Patriots. The Patriots showed why they're, a 10-2 team. You know what I mean? The best team far and away as of right now in the AFC. Obviously with the Indianapolis Colts taking a downturn, but the Patriots are far and away the best team in the AFC. Now, do I think they're the best team in the NFL? No, absolutely not. But I do think they're still the best team in the AFC, and I don't see anyone coming close. Now, you may say the Broncos, but I don't understand the hype behind the Broncos, because the Broncos aren't that good. Their defense is great, yes, but their offense is lackluster. Their offense is fraudulent. And when in the playoffs, when the offense needs to step up, they will not stand up. They will not show up, and they will be shown as a fraudulent team. This team is not good. The Patriots are far and away the better team. Their offense shows up constantly. The defense shows up constantly. There is not a doubt in my mind that in the AFC, the New England Patriots will be in the Super Bowl. You can quote me on that. The New England Patriots. You can kill the man, but you can't kill the idea. Drake May is the next coming of Tom Brady. And I've seen memes about it. I was like, I tried to hold off on my belief for so long, but now he's 10-2. MVP candidate. It's happening. It's happening. The New England Patriots will make the Super Bowl. Will they win it? Who knows? But they will make the Super Bowl. It's end of story. Magic and Bulls. I'm gonna say this, right? The Magic and the Bulls, like the Magic, not the Magic, but the Bulls, um, they they played like they were like their life depended on it. They were coming on a 3-game losing streak. Obviously, you don't want to continue that 3-game losing streak. So obviously, they're playing their heart outs. I mean, the first half was very turnover prone, though. I will say though, there was 20 combined turnovers, 11 for the Bulls, 9 for the Magic. The Bulls were very good from three. They shot 47% at one point. They did have a lead going, not going into that, but it was a tie game at half. The Bulls, they extended their lead. They had a lead coming out of the third quarter, and it even reached as far as 13 in the middle of the third quarter. And after that, the Magic went on a huge run. They cut the lead down to 2, and at the end of the third quarter, it was a tie game. Now going to the tie game, going to the fourth quarter, the Bulls just seemed to have an inability to finish the game. When it came time to make the plays that were necessary, you know what I mean, to come away with the win, they just couldn't make it. So obviously, so the Bulls, they continue they continue their little skid. If they're actually able to fix their inability to win games late, I think that's a completely different story. But yeah, great game though. Great game. Really enjoyed it. But Bulls, come on. Y'all gotta do better with your inability to win games. Right? Inability to finish games. Broncos and Commanders. This is exactly what I mean by the Broncos have the inability to score on offense. This should not have been a close game. You're getting stopped by the Commanders' offense. I mean, not getting stopped by the Commanders' offense. You're getting stopped by the Commanders' defense, right? It was 13-7 at half. And you're telling me this is one of the better teams in the AFC. You're telling me that the Broncos are one of the better teams in the AFC. With Bo Nix as their quarterback. He's supposed to lead y'all to the playoffs. He's supposed to lead y'all to the Super Bowl. I'm not convinced with this offense. This offense hasn't shown me nothing important. This offense hasn't shown me nothing that great to make me want to believe in them as an offense, as a viable offense. The Broncos defense, yes, they've had me convinced for a long time this season. But the Broncos offense, I continue to have questions. What happens when you go up against a legitimate defense? Huh? What is the offense gonna do when you go up against a defense like the Patriots? Huh? What are you gonna do? I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna do absolutely nothing because the offense can't score. I can't trust the Broncos offense. I can't trust the Broncos offense for nothing. I couldn't even trust them to throw a rock in the Grand Canyon. That's how little I trust his offense. I trust the Commanders' offense more than I do the Broncos' offense. And y'all almost lost to Marcus Mariota. Not Oregon Marcus Mariota. Not early career Tennessee Titans Marcus Mariota. But late in his career, Marcus Mariota. Deebo Samuel was cooking your defense. Terry McLaurin was cooking your defense. If Zach Ertz was cooking your defense. But in the end, the Broncos, they come away with the win because, the Broncos, the Commanders, they scored. And obviously, there's not enough time. There's an overtime. This is not enough time in the game to where you can kick an extra point and think, oh, there's enough time to where if no matter what happens, we could the Commanders could viably get another chance at the ball. So obviously they go for 2 and they get stuffed by Nick Bonito. The Commanders, not the Commanders, the Broncos continuously get bailed out by their defense. Their offense is not good. The only time I've seen their offense be good is against the Dallas Cowboys. And it's because the Dallas Cowboys defense at that time was pure garbage. All right? I've not seen enough to be convinced by the Broncos. Now, moving on. We're going to Bills and the Steelers. Another team that I'm not convinced by is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm gonna say the Cincinnati Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers. Highest played defense for what? That was the most amount of rushing yards allowed at Acrisure Stadium, Heinz Field, whatever you want to call it. I think it was like 286 yards, right? How many yards the Bills ran for was the highest amount of rushing yards by an opposing team in Acrisure Stadium. Highest paid defense for what? What did TJ Watt do? What did Cameron Hayward do? What did Alex Highsmith do? What did all these supposed high-paid players do? I'll tell you what. Absolutely nothing. You had the Buffalo Bills offensive line was beat up. It was injured. It was weak. This should have been a game where the Steelers' defensive line feasted. And what did they do? Absolutely nothing. Steelers' offense, nothing. All the Bills had to do to win this game was be better than mediocre. And they did. That's the only reason why the Bills won this game is because they were somehow better than mediocre. I'm done. I'm done. Mike Tomlin needs to get up out of here. I know that as a Virginia boy, he's a Virginia man. I love him to death. I love Mike Tomlin, but it's constant 9-7, 9-7, 9-7. What has he done for the Steelers? What has he done for the Steelers lately? Nothing. And yes, he hasn't had the best offense. I get that, but head coaches have a certain shelf life that as soon as they stop producing at a top level, I think you should let him go. Mike Tomlin should have been let go a long time ago. After consistent years of 9-7, okay, let's start looking for someone new, right? I don't care that he just had 18 seasons of having a positive record. Positive records only mean so much when year after year after year after year, your first round exits in the playoffs, and sometimes you don't even make the playoffs. It only does so much. I'm done. I'm done. All right. I can't. All right. Now, moving on to the 1:00 games. We have the Rams and the Panthers. Panthers, y'all had 2 clutch 4th down conversions. I mean, these were 2 gutsy plays, and they got touchdowns off of it. I think that was the main takeaway. Is that the fact that they scored 2 touchdowns off of these 2 4th down conversions, right? Matthew Stafford, he had 2 interceptions. That Puka Nacua catch could have definitely been picked. If Puka Nacua didn't just snag it and curl it, that definitely could have been another interception. Matthew Stafford just did not have a great game. Obviously he did throw a couple of touchdowns, but that Panthers defense was really good. I mean, they played really good. I mean, their offense was better. It was better than against the 49ers. So that was a very good team. So I think they're 7-6 or something like that. And the Bears are now in first place in the NFC. Welcome to 2025, people, where the Panthers are 7-6. The Colts are one of the better teams. The Texans are 6-5. And the Bears are 9-3. And they're in number one seed in the NFC. What is this? The 1980s? No, the Colts weren't even good in the 1980s. What am I talking about? What is life, man? Texans and Colts. Dude, Daniel Jones. Why are you playing on a ruptured? He's playing on a ruptured disc. I mean, I respect the hustle. I respect the guts. But come on, man. This is just another game where if you stuff Jonathan Taylor, you pretty much neutralize the whole offense for the Colts, and that's what the Texans did. I mean, the Texans were just good enough on offense. They didn't with the win. I wasn't really too impressed by the Texans' offense, really, but they did just enough. The Colts, they're continuously slipping down my board as one of the better teams in the league. I'm just, it's just like as soon as you stop Jonathan Taylor, everything goes away for the Indianapolis Colts, and that's not a very good thing. Moving on to the Saturday games, we had Illinois versus Northwestern. This was just a real hard-nosed, gritty game. This was a very bad weather. This is a very bad weather game, very defensive game. Hayden Elligan for Northwestern. He did his best to try and keep the I was gonna say what the name of Northwestern was, like what their team name was, but I don't even know. Northwestern and it. Preston Stone just was like, you know what? I'm a show. Pick. That was pretty much it. If you watch the game, and if you're a really good fan of defense, you really enjoyed this game. If you just want to watch a really good game, a really hard-nosed, gritted out kind of game, like I don't even say two good teams, but two bowl eligible teams. It's the first time that both teams have been bowl eligible in like a while, so this is very, very good for both of them. But Preston Stone, come on, man. TCU versus Cincinnati. I didn't actually get to watch a lot of it because it did have like a thunderstorm delay or whatever like that. So yeah, there was a lot of that. There's 5 passing touchdowns in the first half. After TCU really ran away with this game. I mean, they had a double-digit lead for the majority of the game, and it didn't go away. Like I said, I wasn't able to watch it because by the time that the game had came back, and it was already time for the other games like Illinois and Northwestern, so I didn't even get to watch it really. So I was taking notes of what I did watch, and yeah, I did see the end score was like 38-17. So TCU they get a big win. Moving on, it's the game: Ohio State versus Michigan. Michigan, they forced an early interception, but they got two field goals. Michigan got the ball first. They kicked the field goal. Then they forced an interception on Ohio State's first drive of the game, and they get another field goal off of that. And other than that, like Michigan, their offense just wasn't that good. Ohio State pretty much dominated from that point on. They pretty much locked in and said, okay, well, hey, no more Mr. Nice Guy, pretty much. And they basically took over. Ohio State got lucky on a I think it was Jeremiah Smith, right? He was streaking down. He caught the ball. He was running into the end zone. He kind of stumbled, and he kind of like loses the grip of the ball, and they still called it a touchdown, which I thought was gonna end up as a touchback, but they called it a touchdown. Yeah. Lakers and Mavs. I actually forgot who won this game. Who won the Mavs versus? Oh yeah. 121, 119. It was Nembhard. I was very impressed by Ryan Nembhard. I'm a fan of Andrew Nembhard, his older brother, I'm pretty sure, and then Marshall for the Mavs. I thought they played great during that game. Both of them were in double digits. Cooper Flag, I'm still a fan of Cooper Flag. He did have a double this game, and so like obviously he's still getting used to things in the NBA. So I'm not gonna be too hard on him. You know what I mean? Like I'm not one to really do that. I'm gonna say that. Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, they both combined. They had 35 and 38 respectively. DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton has looked really good ever since he's gotten to the Lakers. I mean, he's been a very much needed addition to them, I would say, because he's looked very impressive in the in his time there. He's been a lob threat. He's been an inside presence. So yeah, very good pickup by the Lakers, and I really hope that he continues to progress as as the season goes on. Now, the final game of this podcast is Bucks versus Knicks, right? Giannis was doing Giannis. For the most part, until he got injured. So he's gonna be out for a couple of weeks. Giannis, you need to get up out of there, man. Like he really needs to get out of that team, out from that team. I don't care if they signed your brothers. Go, man. Leave. You're not getting another title. They clearly don't. Here's the thing. The Bucks clearly don't want to win. Like, I'll say this again. The Bucks clearly don't want to win. Right? Now, yes, in this game against the Knicks, Kyle Kuzma stepped up. He had a bunch of threes, but it's like they missed that. They missed Giannis's presence, and the Knicks were able to pull away with Brunson. Brunson being the great player that he is, and Josh Hart being a freaking 6'4" rebounding machine. I mean, my goodness, dude. But my thing is, Giannis, get up out of there, man. You need to get up out of there before it's too late. Cause I can't do this, man. I can't watch him play in on a team that clearly doesn't want to win. It's clear that they don't care about winning anymore. I mean, you have Miles Turner on your team, and Ryan Rollins is your second best player, man. I don't know. But Brunson, he had 39. He looks great. I've been very impressed by Miles McBride. He's been on my radar pretty recently. He's been pretty good. I've been very impressed with his work, how he's been shooting and everything like that. And then, like I said, Josh Hart, he had a double-double. He had 19 and 15. A 6'4" shooting guard, out-rebounding. I mean, we've seen it with Russell Westbrook, but that was different. That was Russell Westbrook. This is Josh Hart. You know what I mean? But he's really carved out his role as one of the best rebounding guards of all time. I would say I would even put him in the conversation of all time. So yeah. But here's my last thing. Giannis, get out of there, man. Get traded to somewhere where they actually value winning. All right, I'm done. I'll see y'all next time. This week really there's bunch of great basketball games, but I don't know. I'm just like, I feel really strongly about certain things, and it's like Giannis on the Bucks and the Broncos. I'm just not, so. But I'll catch y'all next Friday. Peace.